Merry Christmas, happy holidays, however you say it, however you celebrate it. Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. We are only, 3 days away from Christmas. It is a festive season. Everyone's happy and in a good mood. I'm going to carry that energy into today's pod. I'm joined by Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, you doing, mate? Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
And Arsenal sit top at Christmas. Hopefully that's not a bad omen, because the last, I think, 2 or 3 times we have finished top at Christmas, we've ended up coming second again. So it doesn't really mean anything, but it feels good being top. It feels good. Knocked off our top spot by Manchester City as they had their game before Arsenal's against West Ham, and the inevitable happened. Manchester City did win, of course, but then Arsenal followed that up with a 1-0 victory against Everton. So we're going to be discussing that. But first of all, we're going to be discussing Aston Villa. They're going to make it 10 in a row. 10 wins back to back. What a record for Unai Emery's Aston Villa side. Great start. Well, great first half of the season. At the start of the season, it looked a bit iffy. It looked a bit dodgy. A transfer window which saw them not really heavily invest, but they did do well to keep all their players after a disappointing end of season, which saw them not retain that Champions League position. With that meant that money wasn't as rife as it was in previous seasons. So they had to get rid of the high earners and the deadwoods. They had to get rid of the likes of Rashford on loan. They couldn't take up that offer. They had to move people on. But Aston Villa have done well since then. They've sat down, consolidated. They've added consistency to their game, and they've finished off 2025 in style. Even not playing that great against Manchester United, but still getting a win because key performers like Morgan Rogers turn up and slap 2 in the back of the net. Steve, Aston Villa. I mean, talk of a title challenge, talk of a title race. They're in and about it at Christmas. They're in and about it at a good point. They're in tip-top form. Players like Morgan Rogers knocking on the door to starting for England in the World Cup this summer. Unai Emery's doing an excellent job at that club, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is. He's done a good job really since he's gone to the club, hasn't he? You know, it's he's a top manager. There's no, there's no debating that, is there really? Yeah, look, I mean, they're up. You've already said, mate. Villa are up there. At Christmas time, it's not like they're sitting in third place and they're, like 8 points behind or 9 points behind. They're sitting in third, 3 points behind Arsenal, and 2 points behind Manchester City. So, yeah, take away one game, they've had, just as good a season as those 2 above them have. So you have to take your hat off to them, and you have to give Emery a big pat on the back, because I still don't think they've got the greatest squad and the greatest 11.
No, they haven't.
And I keep waiting. I don't know about you, but I keep waiting for the wheels to fall off. I keep waiting for it to come.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, I don't mind Aston Villa. I've got nothing against them. So I've got no dog in that fight, rivalry wise. But I just can't see sort of making
how
a
they can
challenge
sustain it
as we sustain it further into the season, when you get to the latter stages of like March and April. The most important in May. But we'll see. Stranger things have happened. But it's Morgan Rogers has been brilliant for them. But you look at their team, it's very sort of like, I think that this is where you've got to sort of, really take your hat off to him, Unai Emery, because I think he's getting the best out of good Premier League. I don't like to say, bang average sort of Premier League. It's not a phrase I use. I don't think there's any such thing as bang average Premiership players. I think it's a little bit insulting, to them, to get that far. play for a top Premier League club. But I think he's getting the limit out of him at the moment. Taking away maybe Morgan Rogers.
Onana's having a good season again. But he is. I know what you mean. Like, you'd think that Yuri Tillemans was a player that's sort of not winding down, but you may think his best years are ahead of him, but he's getting the best out of him. He's getting the best out of Ollie Watkins again, at a similar situation where can you get any more out of Ollie Watkins? He seems to be getting that out of him as well. Matty Cash, a decent fullback, but we're not talking about a world beater. He gets the best out of him.
John McGinn as well. Do you know
John McGinn again, I like John McGinn. He's an honest, tough Scottish player, but he's got a bit of technique about him. He's got a good pass on him, solid challenge on him, and he's getting goals out of him as well this season. So I think he's scored a fair few times, or at least if not a fair few times. He's a player that gets quite a lot of shots on goal as well. Ensri Konza, good defender, getting him in the England squad on a regular basis. So and starting as well. So. Kamara, another player they got on a free transfer. We spoke about him in previous podcasts, saying that Man United should have moved for him. And I think Garth did a breakdown on why Man United should buy him or get him on a free. Excellent job. And these are good players, but are they players that should be sitting third in the league, only a few points behind top of the league? I wouldn't say so, but so you've got to give props to the manager and the players as well.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, mate, 100%. As I say, it's going to be really interesting to see, how far they go. As I say, I don't think Ollie Watkins had the greatest of seasons.
No.
And they seem to be, relying on getting that, ringing the last the breath out of certain players. They're taking them to that limit. Do you know what I mean? And it's look, if he can get those players to go up to another level, who knows? But I really don't think they can. I watched the game, on the weekend, and I quite enjoyed the game. I thought
Man United with a better team, were they not?
I thought Man United with a better team, yeah. And I thought the way I saw it, I think if you take away Villa going forward, which I thought they were pretty good going forward, Morgan Rogers was very good. I think it was mainly over that left-hand side where Man United found problems, especially with Rogers, and also Mattson, the left back, I thought was very, very good for them the weekend. He was he caused problems going forward, but defensively, and we're talking about the midfield, and we praised them, but I did think the weekend, I thought the midfield and I thought the defence, I thought they were for the taking.
Do you think it's getting the games on top of them, the intensity, the focus you've got to put into each game, not necessarily the pressure, because I don't think they're putting pressure on themselves, but to keep at that high level consistently throughout the season, to be in this spot here, do you think that's starting to catch up on those players?
Well, that sort of what you said there, sort of, it did look like that way. The weekend, it did, because they're very quick. They're very quick on the left. The young players, they seem to be in it. But there's a lot of players who we've already said there, they're ringing the last little bits of breath out of, it seems. And look, I thought they was for the taking. And I think Man United would be disappointed that they didn't come away with something from that game. So I think we've got to praise Man United, because I was quite impressed with the way they played. And they probably didn't deserve to lose it. So if they're going to carry on in that vein, like I see the weekend, then I think there's even more reason to be worried whether they're going to, be there or thereabouts in March and April, and also obviously in May. But we'll wait and see. As I say, funnier things have happened, but but taking it away from them, up until now, they've been excellent. But only time will tell whether they can step up another level, because they really will need to step up another level. So can I see those players at the end of the season, being called, getting the Player of the Year? Can I see Martinez being, in for the Golden Gloves? Can I see Villa having one of the best defensive records in the league? Because that's what you need at the end of the season when you win.
Yeah.
When if you've won the league or not, or you're challenging to the end. And I can't see any of that.
Yeah.
I can't see any of that at the moment.
Well, there's rumours that they could potentially make a move for Barcelona's Marc-Andre ter Stegen in the January transfer window. Which, I mean, it's a very Unai Emery type deal to get those players that are like quite big names that maybe have seen the end at their current clubs. Do you think that would make a difference in keeping them in the position?
Well, I mean, not really, not goalkeepers. I think Martinez is Martinez. I think, is there a big difference between Martinez and this Stegen at this time? I don't think there's a difference. I mean, if he leaves, it's a fantastic, what I'd call replacement. But would he make a difference to what we've just said? And would they push with him? No, I don't think he would make a difference in that way. But certainly, if Martinez does moves on, then he would be a very good replacement, definitely. And there ain't a lot of goalkeepers about these days, so yeah, that would be a coup. But not.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd make a difference. He'd come in and think, oh no, this is a. All of a sudden, they'd get no clean. They get clean sheets every other week, and I don't think it'll be that, because that's more about the defence, isn't it? So, and I don't think they're strong enough. To be fair.
All right, but Aston Villa, you can still dream, you can still hope, because what if you don't have the hope, there's no point. So enjoy it while it lasts, because you never know if you're in and about it with 10 games to go till the end of the season. That's the business end. That's where you need to be. You need to be within 5-6 points of the top spot with those games, and you never know what could happen till the end of the season. So good luck to Aston Villa. I don't actually mean that. It's just a throwaway comment, which I don't mean. And I mean that. I mean this. I don't mean that. All right? But yeah, enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, we've got the next couple of games, haven't we?
It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? But because the fixtures have called upon that. I will actually look at Aston Villa's next few fixtures. They've got Chelsea away from home. It's going to be a tough one. Yeah. Chelsea, Arsenal away from home, Nottingham Forest at home, and Crystal Palace away from home. And their next 4 games, they've got FA Cup game against Tottenham Hotspur, followed by a game against Everton. Then they've got the UEFA Cup game against Fenerbahce and Newcastle away. So they've got a tough next 6 fixtures. And going into till the end of January, finally finishing with a European Cup game. So it is a busy schedule after Christmas and then around Christmas. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out of the end of that. Next up, Arsenal make a tough test of the Toffees at the Dicky Stadium, whatever it's called. But a 1-0 win, 3 points is what is important. And it seems like people have forgotten how tough an away fixture against Everton is. A fixture that Arsenal have struggled with in recent years. And I think the last time they won at Everton was in 2023. So it's a couple of seasons since then. And Everton have been a team when Arsenal have gone away from home that they seem to struggle against it in recent years. So it was good to get that win the other day against Everton, but a few fans still a little bit unhappy about the performance. Me personally, I would have said it was a bit more encouraging, especially the last 10, to see us being able to see it out quite comfortably. I thought in that last 10, it got a bit dicey before that, and then there was a penalty shout for Everton, but ultimately it's a tough away game, and then Arsenal came out with 3 points, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Look, that's it. I mean, we're not playing the great. We didn't play scintillating football. We haven't played scintillating football for quite a while now. Do you know what I mean? For quite a few weeks. And but while we're not on top form, and we tend to keep sort of swapping players around, getting the odd injury here and there. While this is going on, then all you can do is pick up points. And apart from the Aston Villa game, which I thought we was very unlucky not to come away with something, at least a point I think we should have come away with. We picked up points in every game, and that's what you got to do. And look, we're sitting top of the league at Christmas, so yeah, I don't know what the Arsenal fans are moaning about and groaning about. You might be able to put a little bit more light on me, but I'm assuming it's just the usual stuff. I've seen a little bit about Odegaard again. I don't know. I don't understand that. It's not stopping. He seems to be the scapegoat at the moment for Arsenal fans to pull up all the time. I thought he had an excellent game against Everton. One of the few players that I thought looked up for it, looked sharp. But fans will find something wrong with something. But yeah, look, we're not playing well, but we're picking up points. We're top of the league, and that's it. Everton are a tough place to go, and we proved that. Saying that, they never really give us any problems. Do you know what I mean? I was never like.
I think the XG was 0.2 something.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that, but yeah, that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? That it was that, because I never sort of any worries that they was going to score or anything. Rand was never troubled at any point. And yeah, it was just like I get that, to the eye, it probably wasn't the greatest thing to watch, but at the end of the day, it's 3 points. And what makes me laugh is that before this, everybody was saying, before Arsenal, best team in the world. There's no one better than them. What are they doing? They're doing this, they're doing that. Oh, unbelievable. This is all we heard of. This is all we heard. Oh yeah, but they will go in for a little time where they won't be playing well and da 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 da. But when that happens, we get absolutely slaughtered. So I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. But yeah, look, positives. We've got 3 points. It was away from home. It's a hard game, difficult place to go to. I think towards the end, like you said, the last 10 minutes, we could have had a few goals. Saka should have scored. Trossard should have probably scored. He'd done everything right. Bent it. I thought that was in. I thought that was a goal. Rice, I'm not having it. It's world class. That's it. I've gone already. I've gone early. People want to say it's gone early. He's a world class midfielder. Thought he was absolutely outstanding again. All this season, he's been incredible. And of course, it was good to see Gyökeres get his goal. But even though he got his goal, he still got stick. For me, but that would be to be expected. But yeah, look, pleased to get his goal, and I liked his attitude against Everton. I liked it. He didn't have a great, fantastic game, so he was outstanding. But oh boy, he didn't half put the effort in. Sometimes that's you know what I mean? And he meant that penalty, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was not good. He was not missing that penalty. Yeah. And it was like, and I think this guy's I think he's going to be good for Arsenal. I think he's got that attitude that I like, where he nothing bothers him. And he was steely-eyed. I was looking at his eyes when he took that penalty, and it was steely-eyed. And he could have looked at the goalkeeper, Martinez. They've got a good record of saving penalties and stuff like that. But it was like, nah, you ain't stopping this. I don't care if you are the World Cup winning goalkeeper. He just smashed it, and it was a beautiful penalty. And it was good to see. It was good to see. He's still got to do more. We know that. There's a lot of players that have got to do more. A lot of players that have got to do better. But overall, it's 3 points, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is 3 points, and that is the most important thing. I do feel like look, there's nothing wrong at all with analysing how Arsenal have played. As if you're a little bit concerned about the fact that we have not been in the best vein of form when it comes to performances, and question whether it's sustainable that Arsenal can keep on getting these wins in playing in this manner. I don't envisage Arsenal playing in this way for long, but I am seeing light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like I can put down reasons why our form has dipped a little bit. For people that want to talk about making excuses, I feel like it's a bit childish. Do you realistically expect someone your backup defenders to perform as well as the partnership, which is arguably the best in Europe over the last couple of years? If you're saying that you expect Nkapie to come in and take over from Gabriel, and it's to be seamless, and at one point we had both Gabriel and Saliba as well out. So again, people will run to say it's an excuse, but it's not. But because Arsenal are still sitting top of the league, it's just facts. I think the mixture between players coming out, players coming back, and a few injuries in key areas. I don't think you can downplay the absence of Trossard. The guy was injured, came on for 10 minutes against Aston Villa, completely changed the game for us. That shows how important he is for us this season. And you've seen that as soon as he came back. He's back in the team against Everton, and he's doing what he did before. I think that we dealt with having no Ødegaard, but at the same time missed Ødegaard. And when he came back, of course, there was going to be a difference. Of course, there was going to be a slight transition in being out and in the way we play. It'd be silly to think there isn't, but it's also silly to think that your team with a player with the level of Martin Ødegaard is a player that you don't need. So some ridiculous statements going around there with regards to Ødegaard. I think with our club, and it is with many clubs, but I'd say it's the younger fans. They have affiliations to players which I feel like sometimes they put that first before the team. And they go a bit blinded by it as well. Ødegaard, you saw his class in that second half. You saw some of the passes he made. If Trossard puts that ball away, it's Ødegaard's pass to Declan Rice that starts that off. If Zubimendi puts that away, it's Ødegaard's pass to Zubimendi, perfectly weighted, so he can run onto it and put it in the back of the net. That's an assist from Ødegaard. So one thing that Ødegaard does need to do is get his GA up, goals and assists. But we saw an Ødegaard getting back into his better form before his injury again. And I think the guy's been a bit haunted recently in the last couple of seasons with injuries. People will always look back to his 22-23 season. It was outstanding. We were talking about he was competing with Kevin De Bruyne in those seasons. And it's not silly to say it because it was fact. He was competing with Kevin De Bruyne in those seasons. And it's not a disrespect to Kevin De Bruyne because Kevin De Bruyne was better overall in that season. But you're talking about a player who was like 5 off of the same goals and assists than Kevin De Bruyne. And he bagged a hell of a load of goals in that season. The following season, I think that people would dismiss that season, but it was not equally as good, but it's very, very good as well. But his role had changed, and he got more assists than he got goals. And I think once he does get because the assists are there, people are just not putting him away. Yeah. But once he starts getting some goals, I think people will start to pipe down a little bit. Because that's how a lot of fans judge a player on. It doesn't matter whether he's had a great game. If he's got that goals and assists, they're happy.
This is where narratives are dangerous. See, this is where narratives are dangerous, and this is what a lot of the mainstream media do. And this is the problem. Just to get some kind of reaction, just to get some kind of just clickbait mainly. And unfortunately, you're getting you know, the Sky Sports, the BBC, the Athletics, and the mainstream media of this world, you know, they're bringing up things like, you know, Odegaard's stats, and they're comparing him with Kevin De Bruyne. And then you're getting debates online. Oh, he's not better than Kevin De Bruyne, or he's not all that. And then you'll get someone say, oh, they're shit. And then it will sort of escalate. And then all of a sudden,
But you never
Odegaard's
say he
this
was
and
as good as
Odegaard's
Kevin
that.
De
And then it will
Bruyne.
go. Well, that's what I mean. It's no disgrace
That's-
to be a little bit not as good as Kevin De Bruyne, but fans
Yeah.
today don't see it that way.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I
we
mean?
never.
They think there can only be one. You know, if you're not better than Kevin De Bruyne, then everyone else is useless or rubbish, and there's reason to, you know, analyze his stats and all that. And is he as good? And does he actually score a lot of goals? Does he do this? And this is the danger. This is what, you know. This is the danger is happening in today's game with it. You know, it's not good.
Yeah, no, it is. These conversations, they get a bit silly. But as I spoke about before, the problem now is that mainstream media is getting its takes from the things they see online now. They're taking what the hot topic is online and bringing it into the studios, and it doesn't need to be there. It needs those professionals to essentially knock that on the head, downplay it, shut
I
it
think
down.
they've sold out, haven't they? They've sold out.
They've sold out.
This is what they've done. They've sold, and I don't see any way back. So what we have to do, people like us, and while we've got this chance, is you know, call it out. And
Yeah, you have to.
there's certainly not enough people calling it out. And will there ever be? I don't think there'll ever be enough, because I just think football's going that way now. But I see something earlier, and big up again to Terry Flewers, who you know, talks a lot about people killing the game. And there was a little thing, you may have seen it. It was on Talksport with Jason Cundy and what's his name, Jamie Ara, and they're basically taking the piss out of Arsenal finishing second. Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Right. But they're taking a piss, and it's a laugh and it's a joke. But Terry's eyes were fucking fuming. His eyes were like fire. And this is a Manchester United fan.
Yeah.
He wanted to jump down. He's got the you know, the video playing behind him, and his eyes are like, this ain't funny.
Yeah.
This ain't funny anymore.
Yeah.
You've got to stop this.
Yeah.
This
Who gets ridiculed for coming second when there's teams that below Arsenal are getting praised for their finishes and how they're playing? They're getting praised for individual games, and they haven't won any trophies. They're just
it's embarrassing.
They're just playing well, doing well. Yeah, no, it is. It is. And what I think he's pointing at as well, and the point I've made before is that it ruins the fans' experience. I spoke about it many times last season, because last season was not a great season for Arsenal. Injury-riddled season where we lost some key players for long periods of the time, and it weren't a great season. It was about doing the best you can in the league, try and progress in the Champions League, which we did. And I think overall it's a disappointing season, but when you can still get into the Champions League semi-finals, show progression there, you show progression in something, you've got to take the small wins. But you don't get an opportunity as a fan. It's like you said there, it's ridiculed, it's torn apart, it's downplayed, it's mocked. And yeah, I speak many times about the 2022-23 season. I don't think the squad had the squad depth, and that we needed a bit of luck that season. And luck didn't come our way because we had a World Cup in the middle of it, lost our new main striker that propelled us to that position. And then by the end of the season, losing William Saliba for the last, I think, 7 games, which didn't help, and it made a big difference there. We needed those players fit, and we just didn't have the squad depth to deal with that. The following season, we was out of it, and we was chasing in the end a season where Liverpool spent the majority of the season up top of the league, and we was chasing Man City to the last game of the season, lost by 2 points, but still to the last game of the season. And I think those things, I feel like they should be not overly praised. I'm not saying I want validation. I'm not saying, but I think you should get like do you know what? This is a team on the up. This is a team moving forward. This is a team doing that. This is what they need. They need to push on. They need to do this. They need to do that. But it was ridiculed. It was being called bottle jobs by professionals. And since then, that's the label that Arsenal have had to hold.
But in the
I don't
same
think that's
breath,
fair.
in the same breath, those same people who were saying that were calling Manchester City the best team on the planet.
Yeah.
So
treble winning Man City.
Treble
winning Man City.
We've bottled it against the best
team on the planet.
On the planet who won the treble. Huh?
Yeah.
What?
It don't make sense.
Sorry, I'm really going to swear again, but these people need to wake up.
Yeah.
And even if you're saying it as a joke, look, you can say it as a joke. Just say it as a joke and banter it, then move on instantly, and then talk about, how it really is.
Yeah.
Don't harp on about it and go on and on and on and on, because it's killing it. It's absolutely.
But you expect that from rival fans, Steve. It's when it's on the TV. Why is Gary Neville having a conversation and saying, I think Arsenal, I think they did bottle it, but a good season, but they bottled it in the end. And then Jamie they bottled it. It's like, nah, you two should be having this conversation like that.
You wouldn't have got that. You wouldn't have said that. You wouldn't back in like the 2000s, early 2000s, even around like the Aguero, 2013s. Ever since then, it's probably when like Man City went on their dominance. It's all started since then. Do you know what I mean? It's like Man City are dominating. So what can we like? What shit can we come up with? Because we've got nothing to write about. Because they've dominated. They slag off everyone else behind them, and you're like, huh? And that's the way it's gone. And yeah, look, there is narrative towards different clubs. I see it all the time with Arsenal. It's not a thing, if Arsenal don't do it, it's not mentioned. If they do it, then it's a thing. I see it all the time. Do you know what I mean? Apparently we said Arsenal celebrate too much. People moan about celebrate. What's wrong with celebrating? I don't care if anybody celebrates. I don't care if a team celebrates against us. If someone scores a goal in the last minute, or Man City beat us in the middle of the season 2-1, and they do a lap of honour. So what? Who cares? Let them do a lap of honour. Football. If they're going to make their fans happy by doing a lap of honour, do it. And then when some other clubs do it, don't moan about it and let them do it. Let them have some be joyous. Do you know what I mean? But it's like recently, the last two games were against Wolves and against Aston Villa. Sorry, not Aston Villa, and against Everton. Yeah, you've only had to look at the players' faces. They were seriously pissed off with their performance.
Yeah,
the faces on them, they were just like, even when they're clapping the crowd, it was like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, get off. You know what I mean? Thanks for coming, but it was annoying. You don't hear nothing of it. What they do pick up on though is when they're banging the grass because they're angry because they let a last minute goal in. They can't win. They can't win, so then they'll pick on something. It's sad. It's sad that people are coming up with this nonsense. So if I'd let a last go in, I was playing for a team, I'd be banging the floor. Do you know what I mean? Annoyed and peed off and angry. Do you know what I mean? It's passion. I like to see that. I like to see my players not happy. And when you see how they've reacted over the next two games when they've won, it makes me even more happy and proud of them to see them that way. Because I know it means a lot. And that might take us to win the title. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I'd rather than just not care.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Look. They're always going to pick holes in Arsenal until we win something. Like until we win the Premier League, they're going to pick holes in it. So it's just one of those things where we've just got to hope this season's that season, because it's getting a bit tired. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal being the beating stick. Like no matter what, no matter how good Arsenal have had an exceptional start to the season. They've had multiple injuries. They lost William Saliba and Gabriel at one point. They went 5 games without having a centre forward, and they're still sitting top of the league. They're still sitting top of the Champions League, and we're not looking for people to slap us on the back. But I said it before. I just want people to leave us alone. Like it's just like you're picking the bones out of everything. Like you say it's not sustainable. Well, you said that from the start of the season. Even some of our own fans said it's not sustainable. We're still top. We're still top.
What did people think about? Before all this social media, people weren't like this. Do you know what I mean? You went down the pub, you went to the grounds. You spoke to people. You never had this. You listened to Match of the Day. You listened to the radio. It was good football analysis. Now it's just ridiculous. It's just so poor. And look, I don't think we're ever going to change it because I just think it's the way it's going to be now, mate. But look, we're happy with them, and and just let's just keep doing what we're doing. One thing, just to sort of change it, different subjects. It's good to see that Gabriel Jesus come on.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he's there. He was fed. I thought he was fed up against the Villa game. I don't know. He had up about something, so he probably didn't score or something. I think sometimes Gabby tries a little bit too hard.
Yeah, he gets in his own head, doesn't he?
I'm like, just calm down a bit.
Yeah,
Gabby.
no, he does. He does that. He does that. Like he needs to keep on scoring. Like he does. He needs to keep on scoring. I think he's had a lot of comparisons over the years. When he was younger, he was compared to Ronaldo. Got to Man City and wanted to be the main man. Had Sergio Aguero in front of him. Was always had a top striker in front of him. And goals has been the thing that have been people question where he consistently deliver goals. So when he does go on a bit of a run and then come off of that run, you can see straight away he gives himself no leeway. It's like the first game he doesn't score, he beats himself up, he's kicking the post. It's like you've got to take it a step back, mate. You can't be doing too much. Can't get in your own head.
We spoke about that last season though. It seems to be a thing with him. He gets a little bit, tries to do a little bit too much sometimes.
Yeah.
But look, it's just great. It's great to see him back. And
it is.
The more strike. Look, we've got players like Jesus, Havertz, Gyökeres. We've got a few number 9s now up there. And look, if they could all I want them to do is just contribute, to the season. I'm not really interested in how many goals they get. At the end of the season, I can say, well, he contributed, and then that's fine with me. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think performances will start to get better. Like I said, we saw. I think people forget we hit the post twice against Everton, as well as scored the penalty. I think Bukayo Saka should have done a little bit better with his opportunity.
Yeah.
I think a little bit more composure from Saka, which we don't really have to have that conversation normally. But if he takes the touch and puts it on his stronger foot, he buries that in the bottom corner. And if we come out of that game with a 2-0 victory, I think the tone of the conversation is completely different. But I think people are just getting a bit worried about putting that second goal in, putting the game to bed, because they've seen the likes of the Sunderland game. They've seen the Wolves game, which we got out of jail on that one. So they don't want to see it again. They want to put a little bit of a buffer in between. But like I said, I feel like it's coming. I feel like you're getting Trossard back in the starting lineup. You're getting him, he's getting games. Erdegaard's looking better. And I think game by game we'll see progression in his performance from that. I think Saka's getting better. I'm just starting to see a bit more of the old Saka. I'm starting to see a little bit more bursts of pace. So obviously he feels a bit more confident on that hamstring as well. It will come. It will come. I think it's now a little...
Havertz to play a part.
Havertz is... We're all waiting for Havertz to come back.
And it's funny, isn't it, though, isn't it? everybody's now screaming for Havertz. You know, just not necessarily to come in and score loads of goals because he's not going to do that. It's not him. But just his plays part in the team because he's missed.
Mate,
He really is missed.
He got 20 goal contributions in 38 games in the first half of the season last season. That can't be dismissed. Like he was
someone who was getting called bang average.
40 goal GA season. Like I think people will come to like whether you liked him or not, he's a valuable asset to the team. And definitely. I think people would come to terms with that, even though it was very reluctantly for some people, stupidly, but they come to terms with it in the end. He's an important player for the team. You bring back Gabriel Jesus, you got Victor Gyökeres in there. All three completely different types of players. That's what we need, variation.
Yeah, just play your part.
It's really important. Play your part. Yeah. Players like Noni Madueke, who's started the season well.
He's had a good season, yeah.
Oh, like people were on top of him, and I think he's been brilliant. And I know people want to. I know some people will say maybe we're going a bit over the top, but I think he's been brilliant. And I can't stress the importance of a player who constantly will go at someone, will go at a fullback, will keep them on their toes. Like it's all well and good having a player that can pop in a goal or an assist, and hasn't really done much throughout the game. And they're important, but the player that's going to pin the fullback back because it's going to make them think, it's going to stop them from cheating and going forward and not coming back. Little things like that make a big difference to the team, and it's important. It's important.
You know, the biggest praise I can give him, like for the way he's coming. If he would have started against Everton the weekend, I would have been like, okay,
yeah,
and that's the biggest praise I can give him. And he would have been, and whether that would have been on the right, you know, started giving Saka a rest, like we've spoke about for years, or starting on the left, which I think he's not as good on. I think seems like he can, you know, much better on the right. But I wouldn't. I don't have a problem in starting him over Saka now and giving him the rest at any point against anybody really either, because he's look at him against Bruce, those goals he scored. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a very good player. So I think he'll play tomorrow night. So I think we'll see him then. I hope he does anyway. Be interesting to see. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of Arsenal fans are taking this Crystal Palace game tomorrow night as a little bit of let's play the whole B team or whatever. I've seen some ridiculous 11s.
Yeah, what's your take on that? What's your take on the EFL trophy? There's people that say, "Well, I don't want to be in it." You can get quite congested towards the end of the season. Too many games could derail us for the Champions League or the Premier League. And there's others that are like, look, it could propel us to give us that mentality to push on for the league, to give us that little boost. And we want to win trophies. What's your take on it?
Yeah, look, I mean, I've always said, like, I've been brought up on the domestic cup. You know, I've been sort of like called out before because I've said, look, for me, it's the Premier League, it's the Champions League. But that's only because I feel that at the beginning of the season, that's what I'm looking at. But when these cups come around, you know, and the game kicks off, whether it's a third round, a quarter-final, semi-final, I want to win it. Do you know what I mean? I want to win it. Do you know what I mean? I've seen Arsenal in most finals. I think I've probably not missed any, you know, but when they've been in a final. So for me, it's important. In the context of the season, you know, at the end of the season, how big it will be compared to everything else, you don't know. But once you've won it, do you know what I mean? It's great. Do you know what I mean? If you get knocked out and you end up winning the league, you're like, you're not, at the end of the season, not bad. But now, at this moment, I want it. I want it bad. I want to win it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to start putting out like nickels at right back and.
No, you can have a balance.
I don't want all this. I've seen some ridiculous 11s online today. People saying, "Oh, rest everybody." I don't want to rest Jesus. A lot, and I know like this would be the game. I'm not 100% sure we should be starting Jesus.
Because you think it's a bit too early for a start.
Yeah, they're just that.
Yeah.
Just that. I think he needs a few.
It needs to be managed.
Needs to be managed and bring him on like for 30 minutes each, and keep bringing him on and then maybe later then give him a game. I don't think he's ready yet. I don't think he's ready yet. And so I want to see Gyökeres up front tomorrow night.
Yeah, so do I. And I think we've seen that Gyökeres needs games. Like, he needs games to get back into the flow of things. Clearly having a break isn't necessarily the best thing for him when it's like we've had a week off. He's had the Everton game. Like, I agree. I would be starting Gyökeres in this one and bringing on Gabby Jesus. I think anyone that needs game time needs to be playing in this one.
You can rest a few players. You can you can rest a couple. You can rest.
There's no reason why you can't bring in Eza. There's no reason why you can't start a Martinelli. There's no reason why you can't start a Madueke. That's a solid. You're really looking at a solid team there. Bring in a Norgard.
Are you giving
in a Norgard? Exactly. And then you look at your defence. Hincapié still needs minutes because he needs to get used to the team. Saliba's just come back from over a month out. There's no harm in him playing. And then you're looking at the fullback situation. Left back, you bring in Miles, and then right back, you look to who you could possibly start there. So that's a solid team. Start with Kepa, like that's a solid team. It's a strong starting lineup. There's no need to go past that and start dropping players because I don't think it sends the right message. I think there's going to be players in that squad that will look at this quarterfinal situation and go, "I want to win this." And if you start taking them out of the team, I feel like they might be a bit put out by the fact that they haven't had the opportunity to play in this game and get Arsenal through and help Arsenal win a trophy. We've got a big squad. It's for games like this, so we can fight on all four fronts. We can talk about games down the line, but we've been here before where people have said there's bigger fish to fry. There's other competitions that are more important, and we've come out of it with nothing. So I think. I don't see how it will look. Could it derail us? Could it impact the other competitions? Potentially. But we've seen injuries in training from Havertz. We've seen freak injuries from people with other things. So yeah, for me, we've got a big enough squad to play and there's players that need minutes. Eza needs minutes. Madueke needs minutes. They all need minutes. So
you play him against Palace, didn't you? I think he's 100% bang on to play against Palace, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's old enough. So
So for me, it's we go for
Mourinho as well in the 8. Maybe
Mourinho, exactly. There's players that haven't played, haven't started. So give them the starting, give them the baton, give them an opportunity to show why they should be starting.
I mean, that's some team we just named, isn't it?
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's the squad depth we're talking about. The squad depth we hope for, and it's a squad depth, in all honesty, that has got us to where we are now. Because people will mock us and say, "Oh, I thought you had squad depth." No, we're sitting top of the league, and we've lost the 2 best defenders in the league. We've lost all 3 strikers at one point. That is the squad depth that has kept us there. Because if we did not have that depth, we certainly wouldn't be sitting top. I guarantee that. We saw that last season. So. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Odegaard, to be fair, Odegaard needs game time as well. Yeah. So maybe he'll play Odegaard in the 10 and put Eze out on the wide. Do that might be more, might be an idea.
Yeah.
But because Odegaard, we've got a lot of players that need game time. Now that tells you everything, doesn't it? The way our season's gone with injuries.
Yeah. It shows that we made the right signings in the summer. Look, if Arsenal can come out this season with a trophy, I've got high hopes for the future. Guardiola leaving, Liverpool Liverpool will have to start transitioning from no Van Dijk, no Alisson, no Salah. I think it's a real opportunity for Arsenal this year to win this league and potentially go on to win a few more leagues going forward. I really, really do. I think that it'll give
Thursday,
Arsenal the confidence. It'll give the players that confidence, that self belief. The manager's got the backing of all the fans. No questioning. Everyone will be singing off the same hymn sheet. There'll be no cracks within the fan base. No one. All the little. All the people that are the Arteta outers, they'll have to scurry back into the gutter, and they won't be able to say anything for a good while. This is a massive season for Arsenal, a real big season. Because I don't want to go into this summer having conversations about whether the manager should get the sack. I'm bored of that one. It happens every time we drop a point. It happens every time we draw. It's a stupid conversation which shows you've got a serious lack of depth to your football, conversations or whatever. When the first thing you go for as soon as Arsenal drop points is not to talk about the why we drop points, how we drop points. It's to reiterate that if the manager doesn't win anything by the end of the season, he's got to go. Like, come on, man! Like, just leave it. Just leave it. All right. Let's have a quick look at the latest.
Just before we go on, what did you think of the penalty? Chat.
Oh, the Tiano Barry one. I didn't think it was a penalty. I didn't think it was a pen. I think it'd have been soft. I don't want to see those ones as pens. Two players going for the ball. Like, where was Barry was going? Nowhere. He slightly kicked his foot. People say I've seen them given, and I've seen multiple times where they haven't been given. It's usually when Arsenal at the end of them. So
exactly, I was going to say exactly. Two occasions. Yeah, Gabriel Jesus, right?
Yeah,
when he was exactly the same foul. Aston Villa probably would have won the title if he hadn't done that. If they hadn't done that, we've got that penalty and scored.
And
so I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. Even have the conversation. Was it was a penalty? And Saka as well.
Well, the one against Crystal Palace, where he nearly broke his bloody leg.
Yeah, and that as well. So no, I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to have the conversation. And these people, you're getting them, didn't you? Arsenal, Everton were robbed.
Everton weren't robbed. They had 0.2 GA, mate. Robbed from what? Robbed from what? Get out of it. Get out of it. Should have been a penalty in the first place on Gyökeres. 2 hands in the back, pushed him into the goal. That should have been a pen. Yeah. 2 minutes later, he's off there. He's playing volleyball.
He knew it and all that.
Two hands. When he handballs it with 2 hands? Yeah. Who handballs it with 2 hands?
It was like a basketball shot, wasn't it?
Head's gone, mate. Head's completely gone. So, no. Hit the post twice. Saka should have done better. Yeah. Was we vintage Arsenal? No. Second half, we were better. Under the cosh a little bit. No real trouble. And the last 10 minutes we handled it. That's what gave me confidence. That last 10 minutes, the way we rode out the game, killed off their chances, gave them nothing. That's Arsenal coming back. Now we had that little bit of flair. Now we think about the positive sides. Ødegaard, how did he finish? How did he had that second half? Much better. Saka was very, very good against Everton. Trossard's back. Rice all over the place again. Trossard's back. Now we've got to get the balance between Zubimendi and Ødegaard. They've got to work that out. And that can happen because they're intelligent players. That's a conversation. That's time.
Yeah,
that's a tactical tweak for Mikel Arteta to decide to deal with. It's little things.
We like just a negative. I'll bring up a negative for Arsenal, and it's happened. I've seen it over the last, maybe even might go back to say the last 6, 7 weeks. We're very sloppy with our passing, and I'm 100% sure. Well, if my knowledge has got stands up to anything, I'm 100% sure that Mikel Arteta will be calling them out with it, because it's got to a point most weeks when I'm watching Arsenal that I'm screaming at the telly. The amount of times we get possession and give it away.
Yeah,
and give it back to them, and I'm like, my poor missus said to me the other day. She said, "Be quiet, shush."
Well,
I'm like, and I said, like, it's getting on my, it's getting to a degree now which really frustrating me. The amount of times we're giving the ball back to the opposition. Something's got to be done with that.
Yeah, it does, and it's something that's actually been happening since the start of the season, and we haven't really ironed it out much. It's really frustrating me all season. But I think it's down to the fact we're not training as much. I think we're not. A lot of our weeks, are. It seems to be match. Then you'll have a training session or match recovery training session, match. So you're not getting as many training sessions in. It's not as slick. We didn't come out. I don't think we had enough games in pre-season, and I don't think. I think that's why we didn't have the most cleanest starts of the season. Although we played ourselves into the season and an excellent run-in where we weren't even conceding shots on goal. I feel like the start of the season wasn't as great because our pre-season we didn't have enough games. But I would have hoped. I agree. I would have hoped that our passing would have got slicker because that's a massive part of our game.
I think what you said there. I think what you said. I think like you already said it. I think Zubamendi's one of these players who's learning that.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of the biggest culprits for it. I've noticed. You know, in recent weeks that. But I think it's a similar thing that we had with Thomas Partey. We called him out quite a lot for giving the ball away.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because you're playing certain balls.
Yeah, he's taking risks. He's got to take risks. And the same thing will happen with Martin Odegaard, where I think he gets dug out quite a lot because he's taking risks. He's trying to take risks. He's trying to play that through ball. The balls that he's trying to play through, it's in tight spaces. He's going to be a few missed passes. So yeah, look, those little things we need to iron out. Definitely, I 100% agree. But we're getting
maybe
there.
They should take some. Maybe they should take some lessons because, like, I have to be. I was watching the game again. I've watched a few weeks now. Like the game, and I'm like, David Raya's distribution is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is.
I mean, he's the best with his feet. I mean, I don't watch Alisson. I didn't watch Ederson every week, so I can't like say I've sort of owned in on everything that they've done. But if they're half as good as this guy with his feet, then he is ridiculous. He's like,
he is ridiculous.
Yeah, I've not seen anything like it. I'm sure there has been. I'm sure you got Neuer, who was the one who sort of started.
Oh, Neuer, for me, Neuer's the greatest goalkeeper of all time.
Raya with his feet, it's just like, I've not seen anything like it.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, David Raya is no Neuer, but I mean, if you even have a comparison, if you're talking about them in the same breath, it's a compliment to David Raya and what he's doing. Like, his footwork's unbelievable. Some of the balls that he plays, I do feel like sometimes stuff is going a bit through to him too much, but it's the way to draw out the players and create space. Yeah. This is why I get a bit annoyed with people that go, I keep seeing this sideways. It's almost as if a couple of passes go sideways and people are losing the plot. You can't just pass the ball forward, people.
All clubs do that. You
can't just pass the ball forward. You've got to create space. In a game of rugby, how do you think they create space? Do you think they just pick up the ball and just run through players? No. They move from side to side. They shift the play, and that creates a gap. They shift it there and shift it back. People move it. They've got to move the players around the pitch. That's what happens when you're playing teams that sit deep. It's all well and good watching Brentford play against flipping Burnley, and you're like, oh, look what they're doing. Look how they're moving the ball forward. Of course they are, because they're playing against each other, because they feel they can get something out of each other. They both feel, I can get something out of this game, so you're just going to go toe-to-toe. But against Arsenal, they're sitting in deep. And what you have to do is you have to create space. The way you create space is by moving the ball backwards, drawing them out, moving the ball sideways, shifting them over, and it creates a space. That's why you'll shift the ball over here, a long diagonal go over there, because it's create a little bit of a gap. And then what we have to do then is be clinical. That's the problem. We need to be clinical at that point. The final ball seems to be the issue. The final finish is the issue at the moment. But we're in those positions. That will come. And then once that comes, we start scoring goals, we get a little bit of a gap, then you'll see players relax into the game like you did against Tottenham, and then you'll get the 2s, the 3s, the 4-0 winners. That's going to happen.
That's why I think Manchester United, but I'm no expert on Man United, go after man for that. But that's why, for me, Manchester United get on so well against the good teams. And when they play against the lesser teams, they really seem to struggle, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, because when they're playing like an Aston Villa, who want to are at home and they want to come out, they want to attack, they've got to play.
Yeah.
Similar to what Arsenal did when they played Man United at the end of the season, and we've seen Man United play against Man City and Liverpool and play really well because these teams are coming out.
Yeah.
So it leaves that little bit of space, and then teams can play through them teams and they get half chances, and sometimes they can come away with a win. And Man United do that quite a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not here to praise Man United, but I've got to praise them for that. But that's just a scenario and the way things work. You know, when you either have to pass it and pass it and pass it some weeks, and then other times you have to do things differently.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Look, it's coming. I know Man City on the tails of Arsenal. I said it before. I said it's a different Man City. I think they're going to go all the way. They're going to be there till the end. But I think they will drop points, and Arsenal will drop points as well. I don't think Arsenal are going to be seamless towards to for the rest of the season.
No, definitely not. No,
but I do think Man City will drop points, and I think that Arsenal will, like they've shown many a times this season. I think Arsenal will exploit those times when Man City do drop points because they've done that this season. So, and I think they've got that in them this year.
I was talking to like someone who went to the West Ham Man City game, and they said that 3-0 flattered Man City, and if West Ham had a better striker, they could have had 3 themselves.
Oh, really?
You know? Yeah. Boeing.
I did hear that about Man City in the previous game as well. That the line flattered them, and it's not the same City. It's not the same City.
These things will, you've got to pick up on, and and it probably, there's a little bit of a clue there why City's defence this year has been a bit leaky, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Crystal Palace, and again they got a 3-0 win against Crystal Palace. And people have said that Palace could have been 2 or 3 up in the first place. They got Nottingham Forest away from home. Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest. That'll be a tough game. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, the 27th of December, Boxing Day. Not Boxing Day, day after Boxing Day. Followed by Sunderland on the 1st of January, away from home. Tough game. Then they've got Chelsea at home, Brighton at home, FA Cup, Newcastle semi-final second leg, and then a Manchester derby on the 17th of January.
Arsenal. They've got
a few tough games. There's a few easy wins there, I think, but they've got a few potentially tricky ones. And I'm going by the teams this season. I know you'd think Sunderland, it's got to be a win, but Sunderland away from home, we've seen with Arsenal, it's a tough game. They took points off Chelsea. They got a win against Chelsea. They got a draw against Liverpool. So Sunderland, they're a team not to be dismissed. Hopefully Man City start dropping points because would like a little bit of a gap. Just on the transfers before we go, Antoine Semenyo is a player that many clubs seem to be looking at in this January transfer window. Personally, I don't think he will go, but rumours of a 65 million bid potentially being enough for the Bournemouth and Ghana star. Manchester City and Liverpool are potentially showing interest. Steve, have you heard much on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I did something, an exclusive in the week about it on Thursday, I think it was. Liverpool, Manchester United, Man City, all have had contact with him, all seemingly wanting to buy him. Liverpool's situation is that at the time of writing the article, was all depending on whether Salah was going to stay or not, but ideally they want to leave it until the summer. Liverpool do, but if Man United or Man City was to make an offer, then that might change Liverpool's thinking. Or Salah, something happened towards Salah that he was going to leave. But it looks to be like Salah's going to stay now until at least to the summer. Whether Isaac's injury now, wish him all the best, by the way. Terrible injury for him, broke his leg. Whether that will now make a difference to Liverpool, we'd have to wait and see. It's all pretty new, that, isn't it? The news from Isaac. Ideally, Liverpool are looking at the summer, and from what I'm hearing, they are his main choice. But there's Manchester City as well. Manchester United are interested in. With Manchester United, again, someone would probably have to leave to be able to bring Semenyo in, because there's not much cash there. So that would probably mean the departure of someone like Joshua Zirkzee, who's been wanted by sort of in advanced talks with Roma. I've also heard that Everton and West Ham have also made inquiries about Xerxes. So, all this sort of like fits into the puzzle of where Semenyo goes. So it'll be like a little bit like a domino effect. Once something happens, then other things will sort of take place around it. So, yeah, will he go? I mean, I don't know. I think it's more or less up to him whether he leaves or not. But as I said, we've only got his release clause, which is 50 million. Sorry, 65 million is only for the first 2 weeks of the window. Once that's passed, then it will go up and again till 65. So whatever deal needs to be done, it'll be needed to be done now. Ideally for Semenyo, he wants game time. That's his main concern. So wherever he goes, he will have to be sort of guaranteed some form of game time. You would think, I mean, what is he? He's a right-sided winger who can play on the left, but mainly he's right. So you would think that maybe they will be looking at him as I can't see him playing wing back. I mean, I don't know what Amarin's thinking would be.
Amarin slightly changed things around though a little bit at Man United in his approach.
Maybe they're changing it for him. Maybe that's their thinking. Maybe bringing him in will help help this system. I'll see what you mean. They have changed it a little bit, haven't they? And Manchester City, yeah, I mean, they're sort of like a bit. They haven't really found someone for that right side. Sometimes they play Nunez over there. They've played Foden over there. They've played Savinio over there. There's not really, no one's really nailed down that. So again, if Man City come in and he promised game time, then you would have thought Man City would be right up there. So it's one of the ones that probably going to be one of the ones to watch the most. So there's a lot of sort of different scenarios that need to happen with other clubs, players leaving, etc., for deals to happen for certain clubs. But yeah, that's mainly the ins and outs. If you want to, get a full blown information on it, just look on my page and you'll be able to read the article. So, but yeah, we'll wait and see. He's going to be. He's very wanted. Arsenal's never been there. I said that even before all this happened. There was a lot of people coming out with that Arsenal were going to be interested in him. I was told Arsenal were never going to be interested in him. They've got too many players already.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense for Arsenal to buy him.
No, I just feel like people are forcing it online. Like it happens every summer, every transfer window.
Where do you think
Arsenal Twitter find the player they like, and all the transfer rumours are.
Where do you think? What do you think? Like, just start.
Semenyo.
Where do you think you go? Where do you think he's best off at?
Like Semenyo's one of them players, who I feel like at Bournemouth, he looks good. Yeah, I think when you get him into a club at a new level, your Liverpools, your Cities, your Arsenals, even your Man Uniteds, even though they're not in the best place right now, but maybe your Man Uniteds, I don't know how much of an improvement he is to those squads. Maybe Man United because of where they are right now, but I'm just not too sure on him. Like he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but how consistent is he? How good is he at the top level? How much of a difference is he going to make for your squad? I think we've seen with Eze that in Crystal Palace, Eze looks like a well beater. At Arsenal, he needs to show more consistency. He needs to put his stamp on his authority on a game. He needs to show his personality in a game more often. And I think when you look at when you hear Crystal Palace fans, although they love him, they would say themselves, there's a few games he goes missing. Like, did he play today? Was he there? Is he not? When you go to a big club and you're at the best clubs in the world, you can't afford to do that. You have 2 games where you go missing. You're not in the team again. And I think you've seen that with Eza this season. He had a couple of games where he's not really missing. He's gone missing. He's not started, and he hasn't even come on. And I'm not saying he's not come on. I don't think he came on because it didn't suit the situation, but he's not starting. So, and I think you're seeing the differences in those players when they go to bigger clubs. And I think it's similar to what you're seeing with Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus at West Ham, you see highlights, you see match of the day, you're like, oh, Kudus looks like a tidy player. How often do you watch him for 90 minutes? Because the West Ham fans do, and by the time that he left, they wanted rid of him. You just get him at Tottenham, starts off well, a little bit of inconsistency comes in, and you see the problem. You see the problem why Europeans' biggest clubs haven't gone for him. Consistency at that high level. So yeah, I don't like. Is a Semenyo better than a Madueke signing? I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
Good point, actually.
So I see him going to. Okay, I'm trying to think who needs a player, but I see him going to a Newcastle. I see him going to maybe a Man United, but 65 million. I think Man United could spend 65 million better elsewhere. I think Man United could spend 40 million, 30 million on a player, an up and coming, a potential gem, rather than spending 65 on Semenyo. How old's Semenyo?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest with you. Got me there.
25.
I mean, I get it that they want to buy Premiership proven players. I get that. But and you think if Semenyo was coming in and everyone else at Man United, see, they're not Man United even at the moment. It's not like when Arsenal, when we was buying Jesus and White and Ramsdale, we was on the verge of challenging for the title, wasn't we? Wasn't far away. Manchester United are still quite a way away from being, that 22, 23 Arsenal type team. So, and you're asking someone like Semenyo to come in and make a difference.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying there. I haven't really thought about it until you've really sort of said what you said there. It'd be really difficult for him to come and say, look, you've got to come in here and turn that team around. It's not like you're buying a Gabriel Jesus and a Zinchenko who have been there, done it, got the t-shirt.
I don't want our team to get bogged down with players. Yeah, I don't want our team to get bogged down with players who, in a season or two's time, you're thinking we could upgrade from that. Like, where I think we're past that, and I know a lot of fans are fans of players like Semenyo, but I don't think he improves us that much that we're not. There's not going to be another player out there that's already out there now
with a Man United and a Man United, a Newcastle.
Yeah. I think he's that level.
Yeah,
and I think Man United, if once they get back into the top 4, once they start pushing for the Prem, he's a player that they're looking to move on. Because I don't think
Tottenham wanted him, but he turned them down, didn't he? He's already turned them down.
There we go. He's Tottenham. He's Tottenham level. He's Tottenham level.
He turned them down. He didn't want. You don't want to go. Which I suppose when you look at the other clubs that are interested.
Look, I think there was a damning a statement based around Tottenham the other day, and I've said it many times. About Tottenham. Yeah, I said the perception that your fans give when they celebrated Man City scoring, which meant you didn't get Champions League football, which meant that Arsenal potentially didn't win the league. Finished 17th in the league. Yes, you won the Europa League, but finishing 17th in the league. Things like that, players will look at that and question whether moving to Tottenham
They've damaged their club.
is the right move. Exactly. And there was it was Van der Ven done an interview recently where he said to one of his teammates, "Oh, I'm joining Tottenham," and his teammate turned around and laughed and said, "You're not winning trophies there." So, and that's from a professional footballer. So, if those are the conversations that are happening, that's not a good light. That needs to change.
I mean, people had to go at, didn't they? They slaughtered Postecoglou because he said, like, when he was asked, he said, "No, I want to win this. He said, I've never heard something so ridiculous in all my life. What is this?" He said, "I'm a winner. I'm not playing because of Arsenal. I don't think what Arsenal are doing. I go out on the pitch because..." And Tottenham fans was up in arms over it.
Yeah.
Oh, he don't understand.
He don't understand. He don't understand. He never understand. No, what he does understand is winners, and that ain't you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
Such a poor mentality, and so like players will look at that. Like you got a Xavi Simmons, but you got a Xavi Simmons because you're in the Champions League, Like, so.
I mean, he ain't started off great, is it? I'm not having that. I've seen Tottenham fans as well. I was listening to something today. He was saying, "Oh, that was debatable. What he did, that wasn't debatable. Sending off."
Yeah, he's been very
Can't
very
do
on
that.
and off. He's been very on and off, Simmons. He's a player in there. I like Xavi Simmons, but he's been he's still struggling trying to find his feet.
He was desperate to play in the Champions League and the Premier League, and that was the best that was around.
Exactly that.
There's no one else.
That. He has joined you to play in the Champions League, and that's the difference. That's what you like. That's not the worst thing, but can you sustain that? Can you stay in the Champions League spots? Because otherwise, those players are going to dry up. It's the reason why you've got. You look at their team, you look at their squad, and I look at their squad, and I've said it before. Where do you put yourself amongst the lead for best squads? Now, your expectation is that you're a Champions League squad, that you're a top 6 squad. Your team is Tottenham's team is not the top 6 best teams in the league. No. It's not. It's not. I mean, look, Arsenal, it's a mid-table team.
Chelsea, they're not.
No.
Newcastle, Manchester United.
Villa.
I don't think they're not better than Man United.
No, they're not better than United. Villa, no.
Villa, they're not.
No. That's what I mean. You start getting into the realms of Brighton's, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Are they better than Bournemouth or Brighton? I don't know. It's a question. So you're now down to 8th and 9th.
It's not even a banter, is it? It's like
no, it's not. It's genuine. I mean that genuinely.
Yeah, it is.
Because if you go through every single one of their players, you can find better players or as good players at the squads. All the squads we've spoken about, from their goalkeeper. Their 2 centre backs slightly different. They're good centre backs, but still
they're decent. They are,
they're decent, but they've got a ricket in them. They're not as good as what Tottenham fans think. Like Romero, head gone, and if you can't keep your temperament, that's a problem. Yeah, Van der Ven still got a ricket in him, but he's learning. He's still young, and he's a good defender. So, but then you've got your fullbacks. Porro, he's all right. Udogie, he's all right. Good going forward, not the best going back. Could be a bit of a liability, both of them. Your midfield's poor. I think Paulini is a good player, but he's a certain type of Boscher midfielder. That's all you're getting from him, but that's not the worst thing. But then you've got to have players that play around him. Bang average. Bentancur, squad player at best. Like Bergvall, squad player. Like, this is what I mean. You go for the wingers. Kudus, I think he's overrated. Odeberg. Like Miles Tell, like Solanke. Garth said it was the worst signing last season. 70 mil.
He's another one who's like similar to Simmons. Tell. He's just gone there because they was in the Champions League.
Exactly.
Well, I know he was there before then, but he actually signed his contract.
Yeah, after
his loan.
He was on loan.
Because it would have never gone there. You'd never gone there otherwise.
Yeah, so it's an average team. There's no depth to it either. Like past that, you've got Sarr, you've got if they still got Basuma, like Madison, like these are very much like
it's an horrible club, isn't it? Really,
it's the kind of squad that a fan off of Twitter would pick. a fan that thinks he's a tactico, a fan that thinks he knows these players. Like, it's an average team. When you've got an average team because you've missed out on Champions football for years, and you've had to pay over the odds for players like Solanke. Like, it's
he's probably had a word in Semenyo's ear and said, "Don't come here, mate."
yeah.
Every single one of them players, right? If they had half the chance, they would leave there in a heartbeat.
But where would they be? Where would they be? Where would they be? Kobe Maynard given a brutal verdict after Manchester United transfer decision, not doing enough. What's your thoughts on Kobe Maynard quickly, Steve?
I think he's got to leave, mate.
Yeah.
I think he's got to go. Strongly think he's got to go. And that's sad, because I don't like it. I was someone who really rated him, when I first see him. And I thought he could really be a player for him. But he just in this new system of Amarin's, he just don't fit. And even when he's on the bench and he gets a chance, he don't get brought on. And the odd game that he does play, when he does play well, he's not picked the next game. So he's more or less like an afterthought, or they have to play him for one reason or another. I mean, there was talk about Maino being the new face of Manchester United like last year.
Yeah, it's a tough. I think everything was blown a bit out of proportion when he first came through. If I'm honest, I think people was going over the top with him. Very quality player, classic player.
Yeah.
But he's
Newcastle, someone like that.
He's in a situation where he's got Bruno Fernandes there, he's got Cunha there, he's got Mbeumo there. Where does he fit? Does he play deeper? Well, then he's got to have someone do his running because defensively he's not that great.
I'm not sure what he is. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's an AM centre, but he's not necessarily a goal scoring AM centre. Like, he's a good player, but he's an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, I'd call him a journeyman. He's only young, but I'd call him like a journeyman, someone who will give you 90 minutes all the time. Do you know what I mean? And whether he's had a bad game or a good game, he'll give all he's got. And then at the end of the 90 minutes, you can decide whether he's done all right or ain't. But yeah, I think he's got to go, mate. I think he's not going to go to the World Cup because of it. Which is sad because
he's still young though. He's still young.
But he is young, and there'll be another World Cup for him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But he's someone I wouldn't be surprised to be moved on. To free up some money to get a Semenyo.
Yeah.
Or someone like that.
Yeah. I think they need to move him on. He needs to move on. It's time to go.
Whatever. Even though we may have got a little bit carried away, I think from what I see, there's still quality in there.
Oh, there's plenty of quality, and he can turn into a really, really good player. But he needs game time. He needs to go to a team. Do you know? I think will be perfect for him, Bournemouth, because he go to a team. There's less pressure. He can have a bit of freedom. He's got Areola there. He's a quality coach who can help him develop. And I'm not saying that Eddie Howe couldn't help him develop and he'd be in a team in Europe, but I think Bournemouth is a really good place for young players to
I think there's a lot of clubs that do well. Don't go Spurs, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Just you're ruining. But Bournemouth, even like a Fulham or a Brighton.
Yeah, Fulham, Brighton.
Get in there.
Yeah. He needs to go to a club where he's going to be playing week in, week out, and could potentially even be the main man. So
I'm sure probably like Rob Edwards wouldn't mind him at Wolves, but alone for 6 months.
I mean, why not? Why not? Definitely get it done. Manchester United target Kerem Adeyemi is embroiled in a fresh row after saying yes to Arsenal transfer. The Borussia Dortmund and Germany forward recently stated he wants out from Borussia Dortmund after his girlfriend said she wants to move to a major city. Steve, any news on Kerem Adeyemi? A link to Manchester United there.
Yeah, I mean, his name seems to be coming up all the time. I mean, he's been, what can I say? I talk to a lot of people who watch the, the Bundesliga, colleagues and that. and they use the word today, apparently enough, that he's always twerking all the time. He's twerking, whether it's his girlfriend, he's twerking to leave. They're putting things in papers. He's saying things out loud.
Yeah.
Whether it's his agent, they were always twerking and twerking and twerking. For players. Look, whether he'll leave or not remains to be seen. It's one to keep an eye on. Whether Manchester United will go for any other Premier League club. But look, this is another guy, whose career for me has gone backwards a little bit. I remember back in the day, in the early echelons of the transfer exchange, so we used to crave about a young carrying Eddie Mb on the show. And we thought he was going to be the next best thing, since sliced bread. But he's no doubt of his quality. He's a good player, but yeah, he's one of these players who says a lot of things, and I think it's a lot of it staged, apparently, so I've been told. But we'll see, mate. We'll see. I say a lot of this. I've seen this before with him, through transfer stories. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens on that one, mate.
Yeah, we will. And finally, Tony unlikely for a Premier League return. Ivan Toney's not expected to leave Al Hilal for a Premier League club in January, according to Sky Sports, who indicated a move away from Saudi Arabia would have to be a major tax implications for the England international. Tony reportedly earning around 600 grand a week, a sum no English side is expected to match. That is all for the transfers today. Unless you've got any more to add there, Steve, before we go.
No. I think you've covered everything there, mate. As I say, it'll all start soon after Christmas, so there'll be plenty of news coming in. So yeah, we'll wait until then.
All right. That is all we have time for. Thank you for everyone who was joined tonight. As I said before at the start of the show, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, festive season, and all. Thank you for your support throughout the year. This will be our last show before the new year. There will be no show next week. I think that's what day is that? Or is there? I don't know. We'll see. There may be. Maybe it's the 29th. We could do a New Year's show, but we'll see. Thank you for joining us tonight. As I always say, if you are on TikTok, go and follow me at Kieran AFC or the Transfer Exchange Show on TikTok. If you're on Twitter, make sure you go and follow Steve K, as there'll be plenty of transfers coming up, and obviously follow the Transfer Exchange Show on Twitter as well. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to everyone.
All right, Merry Christmas, people. Peace out. Stay safe, and Merry Christmas.